Bow, 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 bow. Episode 38 of Daydreaming. How you guys doing out there, dreamers? Wow, I mean, we're just rolling on through these things, and I know you guys are all excited for what's in store tonight. So hopefully when you're watching this, which will be on Saturday after the fact, you guys had a lot of fun with Retro Fridays. Yesterday was a really good laid-back day. There's not really too much to update besides just staying on point with everything. So it was a real good day of just kicking back with DOS Postman, and that was in the evening. And during the day, I was doing a bunch of different things. You know, just the normal grind, making sure to stay on top of the bulk diet, making sure to be very active, not just posting, but also interactive with those that I follow or follow me, and things like that, be it on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and all of that. Okay, and thank you guys also for all the comments you've been adding here on the Daydreaming. I really do appreciate that, and again, it's really important you guys know interaction's such a key element to just being human. You know, like, now we all have our different ways. You know, some of us are more extroverted, like myself, and others are more introverted. And yet, that doesn't mean you have to put yourself out there all the time, but just having a little bit of interaction from time to time, and hopefully in a safe place for yourself, you're gonna reap the benefits, no matter what it is, even if it's just on a social level for yourself to feel just very comfortable within yourself. Okay, therefore, yesterday was just a really good day. Back to the grind, right? So tonight on the Dream Stream, we're gonna have SSJ Sharpie. You guys can already tell I'm wearing this because we are going to be doing Zombies Ate My Neighbors tonight. That's right. We're going to do our best to look beautiful. He's going to be Zeke, I'm going to be Julie, and we are going to finally beat this game. We're not that far away, because when you add in the bonus levels, that gives you a grand total of 55 levels for the game, but actual levels to beat, I think it's around level 48 that the game ends. It might be 48B based off the fact that there's, there is like a double level, however you want to word that, like a part 2 to the final level. But yeah, so with that being said, though, like, we are this close. We keep on getting to like level 43, 44 before perishing, right? So we're on that cusp of finally defeating the game. I mean, I'd love to. And then we could do other challenges within the game itself, right? Once we've beaten it, we could add another element to the game. Okay, so after we play Zombies Ate My Neighbors, normally we go into another game. So guys, start paying attention when we have some of these nights, that those are the nights that we're going to want more content, right? And what that means is we want to be able to have you, the viewer, come on by and give us some feedback on what to play that evening. Because you guys know I normally do themes. I'm very big on the themes that I provide for you guys, be it Retro Fridays, and we're playing, you know, X game for however long until we defeat it. Then we got Scary Saturdays, we play X scary game until we defeat it. And then Speedrun Sundays, we are trying to add more speedrun games, but without taking away from speedruns that we are trying to improve upon. So, and then, you know, eventually during the summer, I think it's on the 26th, June 26th, I want to say it is when we'll add Mondays to the schedule. Therefore, that's going to be called Mix It Up Mondays, and we're going to have a variety of different games that will be played on Mondays. Thus, me going back into my Steam account, really, and pulling out a bunch of different games we could play, be it Witcher 3, be it Rocket League, and the like. There's a bunch of other stuff we haven't played in a long time. Enter the Gungeon, lots of good games, and I want you guys' feedback on what we can play. Now, granted, if you're going to tell me an FPS game, go ahead and tell me, but just don't expect me to play it, because I'm not going to have fun playing that game. Same thing with fighting games to a degree, right? Like, I'm talking about like fighting games like Street Fighter. Those also aren't as fun to me unless maybe I'm playing against the computer. If I'm playing against the computer, I don't feel as disadvantaged, even though obviously my skill set is noob or below noob. And yes, so not Street Fighter, just fighting games or FPS games, I'm most likely not going to want to play them because I don't enjoy them, and you guys would be able to tell. You would see that in me, that I would not be as enthusiastic about the games being played. However, that's only two That's only two categories of games where there's so many other games that could be used or played, right? So hopefully you guys will interject with some of those games that we can play here on the stream coming up shortly. Because honestly, guys, the end of June isn't that far away, right? We're slowly approaching the end of May, and we're not there yet, obviously, but we're every one of these episodes, we're getting that much closer, that much closer. Next day, next day, next day, right? It's going to be upon us really shortly, and we are going to rock some new games, or at least rehash old games we haven't played in a long time, just based off of my scheduling, and also based off of just the themes that are currently going on the Dream Stream. All right, so that's today. Today's going to be freaking awesome. Tomorrow, I am so stoked to also do Scare Me Saturdays with DOS Postman. So I have, again, back-to-back nights of guest appearances from two amazing counterparts of mine. And it's always a lot of fun because it's a whole new dynamic when you're playing with somebody else, right? Sometimes, you're rooting for them. Sometimes you're scolding them. And it's so funny because then there's times where, like, you do the same exact mistake. You're like, oh, man, what the heck was I thinking? And it's just, it's that element of what I remember growing up as is that when you played multiplayer meant that your friend had a controller right next to you, right? Or maybe when the controllers got further away, or when they had the wireless controllers, one person could sit on the other side of the room and the other person could sit on the other side of the room and still play the game. But I mean, that was high tech. That was like, and then when I started really getting into the computer scene, it was now, doing the LANs and things like that, right? Then started to do BattleNet. Nowadays, you can just, it's across the board. Without BattleNet, and I know there's stuff that came before it, but BattleNet is really what took it to the next level of being able to play games with people without having to connect with each other, with having a server you could connect to, and thus most likely be in a safer position with your your IP address. So yeah, forget that ISP part. Just pretend like I edited it out, because it wasn't the right word. And so it's so intense how much stuff has come in such a short amount of time. How it's just escalated. Like it felt like it was going to be for forever, and now it's like, dang, that much has happened in that little time. I was watching something earlier today on one of the people I follow on Instagram, Gary Vaynerchuk, and he had Alexis Pence and Hunter Pence on his one of his daily V shows that he does, and the fact that she was talking about, and this is what is it? Lexi or whatever is what she goes by on Twitch. I'll try to remember the full name in just a moment here. But talking about the fact that a girl gamer could not talk about being a girl gamer unless everybody else was already kind of like in the cool with it. Everyone was already all right with it. You don't just bring it up. It was kind of like you buried it down and you gamed. There's so much stuff has changed, and it's just intense to me because gaming was such a negative connotation. So many different studies showed that gaming is the cause of all this violence. No, I'm pretty sure there's some other issues out there that have been prevalent for hundreds of years, and if we really want to get in detail, thousands of years, that have been the same causes for why there is so much violence. And when there's more people, thus it means more people are going to have access to things that can create violence, right? When there's more of a population, it just means there's more variables for every said scenario, right? And then, means or access to. You're not hearing about it as much in other places because their access isn't there. So with that being said, again, video games are awesome, right? Video games are freaking awesome. You guys know it. I know you know it. Hell yeah. Shit. That doesn't mean that we don't have to be unhealthy slobs just because we love video games, right? You guys know I'm a pro advocate for health, and yet I'm a big time gamer. So it's just decisions that we're making, right? Just like I'm telling you guys, when you're making decisions on how you go about whatever your product, whatever your brand, whatever your social presence is that you want to have out there, these are decisions that you are making. And when you're making these decisions, you got to feel good about the decisions you're making. Otherwise, why are you doing it? You know what I mean? Why would you do it if you weren't feeling like this is right, this is what I'm going to do, and this da 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 da. You got to feel empowered by what decisions you're making. If you feel like you're making wrong decisions, you might need to reassess the situation or find yourself in a better position not to be there to make those decisions that obviously are causing you angst or whatever negative adjective we can come up with. Again, though, positive vibes, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in for another episode of Daydreaming. We got yesterday's episode over here. There it is. Okay, great. And then, if you guys wouldn't mind subscribing over here, you know I appreciate it a ton. I'll see you tonight. And yes, that's right, I will be Julie. Dream on, dreamers!